Well, speaking of adaptations,
Yes, my solo review for this week, which DB will be able to participate in this because I know he's seen it. I went
twice,
ahead and what's that?
twice in fact.
Twice. Oh yeah. So I've been getting managed to get back into Demon Slayer and got through the first season, and so I saw on Crunchyroll that there was either the Mugen Train movie or the arc, which was basically the movie split into episodes. So I went ahead and watched the movie, and it's. I mean, I thought it was a good movie. It definitely delves. You get a little more of a sense of the characters, particularly with like Tanjiro and Zenitsu and I'm blanking on the guy wearing the boar mask.
Inosuke.
Inosuke, thank you. Yeah,
It's ironic that you forgot his name, considering that his one of his gags is that he can never remember anybody's actual name.
right, yeah. Yeah, he keeps calling Tanjiro like just every name other than Tanjiro.
Yeah,
Yeah, so this the movie picks up where season one ends. It sees Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu boarding a train because they've been getting word that people have been going missing on this train, and they think it's a demon. And of course, they meet up with the fire guy.
Rengoku.
Rengoku, and of course Rengoku's just this really cool guy, and they take to him pretty quickly. Um, and
He's just a fun, high energy character.
he is, yeah. And but then as they're on the train, they quickly realize something's wrong, and their tickets get punched by the conductor, and then they all fall asleep, and it's because they all enter this dream state because of the demon who's one of the Musan's underlings. And I thought obviously the highlight with all the dreams was with Tanjiro. Of course, he's dreaming that he's back with his family and they're all alive, and Nezuko is human and she's not a demon. And
Right.
uh,
It's very much like the classic Alan Moore Superman comic for the man who has everything,
yeah,
and like has to tear himself away from the pleasant illusion.
yeah, yeah. My only complaint about that was that took a little too long for him to do that. Um, but I think that was probably because they just really wanted to hammer in the emotional impact of it.
Yeah, Demon Slayer can be a bit schmaltzy at times.
Yeah,
And by a bit schmaltzy at times, I mean melodramatic all the time because that's the way it rolls.
yeah. I noticed that. Yeah, um, and but of course the other aspect of it too is that the demon has these kids working for him, and they're all tied with these ropes, and they're in the dream because they're trying to find the whatever their the source of their happiness or whatever it was. Um,
Right, it's like get rid of that and you trap them in the dream world forever, I think.
I think that's right. Yeah. And of course, Zenitsu and Inosuke's dreams are just like hilarious.
Yeah. Inosuke is like, man, you have a diseased mind.
Yeah. Yeah, and Zenitsu is just, of course, madly in love with Nezuko. And I did like that part when Nezuko wakes up and she sees her all sleeping. She tries to wake up Tanjiro by headbutting him, and of course Tanjiro has a really hard head, so it doesn't
Yeah.
work. But yeah, and of course the the movie really gets going once they all wake up, and then they have to fight the demon, and then it all culminates in the climactic battle with I just lost the name, well, the
Well,
fire.
Well, it's kind of interesting because there's two climaxes,
Oh,
so
that's
it,
true. Yeah.
so like it kind of works. It works better because it's part of a bigger series. But if you were just watching this as a standalone movie, it always feels weird pacing wise with it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, yeah. You definitely have to have watched the first season of Demon Slayer to really know what's going on in this movie. Um,
Right. Which, considering this was one of the bigger, uh, this made like 50 million in the U.S. during the pandemic. I'm gonna guess that a lot of parents were dragged along, or people who just wanted to go see a movie and nothing else was coming out,
yeah,
and
yeah,
like where I feel like the movie is self-contained enough until you get to so they spoiler alert, they do dispatch the train demon,
yeah.
but then another one of Muzan's higher underlings shows up and gets into a big fight with Rengoku.
Yeah, yeah, and it is very much a what you would expect from a shonen anime fight scene between two very powerful characters, and of course, and sadly, Rengoku doesn't make it, and and. And of course, Tanjiro goes on one of his rants at the demon. Like you didn't win, you lost, and da, da, da.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you coward!
Yeah,
Because uh, honestly speaking, Rengoku would have had him if he didn't have his demon healing factor.
right, yeah. And of course, the entire time, yeah, the demon he's trying to get away because the sun's coming up, and if Tanjiro and Inosuke had just, it sort of reminded me of like Optimus Prime, Megatron, and Hot Rod. If Hot Rod hadn't gotten in the way, Megatron would have been dead, and it's kind of the same
Yeah.
thing there.
And in this case, our heroes were just shredded after fighting the train demon. So like
Yeah,
what I liked about this in like the context of the bigger series is that in the previous arc with the spiders, they'd really just they've done a good job of showing just how powerful the Hashira, who are the high ranked demon slayers.
yeah,
For those who aren't as weeby as me, Hashira apparently means pillar. So like they're the pillars holding up the whole demon slayer organization.
yeah, yeah,
Uh, and so in the previous arc, we'd gotten a sense of just how much more powerful they were than our characters or than our main heroes. And then this comes right after, and you're like, hey, guess what? Still ain't shit compared to a demon.
yeah,
Get
yeah,
wrecked.
yeah, indeed, yeah. But no, I enjoyed the movie. After of course, after seeing the first season of Demon Slayer, it's a good uh tie-in with the overall universe, and it's I was kind of avoiding Demon Slayer a little bit because of its popularity, because it's
The
like
good old hipster reaction.
right, yeah. But no, I see why people enjoy this series, and I see why the manga is constantly outselling Western comics, and you know,
Yep.
yeah,
Now I'll say, so I've ended up seeing this in movie form and in the form of the TV season.
mm,
I think having seen both versions, the first episode of the TV series version of it does have a solo Rengoku adventure. So and it does explain it, like it gives you a better sense of his character. It's not 100% necessary, but I would like if I was going to recommend how somebody watched the this story, I would say watch the first episode of the second season, then just go back and watch the movie.
mm,
Because aside from like the little Taisho secrets at the end of each episode and the getting to watch the theme song and things like that, there isn't really a lot that gets added to it.
yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. I was curious about that too, yeah, because I was like, when I watched the movie, and then I saw on Crunchyroll the episodes, and I see the thumbnails on all of them. I'm like, okay, well that's all from the movie, and I read the descriptions, and I'm like, okay, do I really need to watch these episodes, or am I good?
Right? It's a bit like Dragon Ball Super, where there are two storylines that were movies originally and then got chopped up into episodes for the main TV show.
Mm,
You're best off watching both Battle of Gods and Revival F in movie form and just pretending that the show doesn't exist around them, Or
Yeah.
I just you just watch the episodes that bookend them.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah.